Hello everyone, I am Pragya Srivastav. I am here to record a lecture on control system. Its course code is KEC 602. We are presently discussing its unit 1. After discussing block diagram and block diagram reduction techniques, we are presently switching on to signal flow graph. Here we see signal flow graph is nothing but a graphical representation of the same block diagram. We also see that it is a alternative method. So it is as good as a signal flow graph would represent a system. Signal flow graph, a block diagram would represent a system. Similarly, a signal flow graph also does the same. So in some pictures, in some complex problems, we see that block diagram reduction becomes a comparatively difficult task and cumbersome to reduce it. So we switch on to something which is easier, that is an alternative method. So this is an alternative method to show relationship between variables. So what are these variables? Of course, input and output. So we usually write it RS and CS. Next, it is a graphical representation. So graph, the word is coming from here. The graphical representation, relationship between system variables. It does not require any reduction. So we do not need any technique to reduce, does not require. Rather, we have a formula for the same. So the scientist S.J. Masson's derived a formula called Masson's gain formula. So here you need to have the relationship between input and output, which will give you nothing but the transfer function with the help of a formula. So the equivalent transfer function will be can be calculated from Masson's gain formula, which is summation k pk del k by del. So here we see that for a corresponding signal flow graph, we will be having some k value. Depending upon the k value, we will be having the k number of terms in the numerator, and then we will be having another variable which is del. So all we need to do is we need to find out what is pk, del k and del, and we need to substitute this in this formula which is called Masson's gain formula and achieve the transfer function. So far we have learnt that we do not require any reduction technique like we did in block diagrams. So it is a comparatively simpler method. So switching on to properties of signal flow graph obtained from block diagram of a system. A signal flow graph is basically obtained from the block diagram. So there we can have two kinds of questions related to signal flow graph. So first we can have convert given block diagram into its corresponding signal flow graph. So this is the first kind of question we can have. The second question is estimate the transfer function using signal flow graph. So this conversion we have to learn how a block diagram can be converted into a signal flow graph. Then the next thing which we have to study, estimation of transfer function. Here we will use Masson's gain formula. So to estimate the transfer function, we simply have a formula here. We do not need to reduce it. We do not need to know the reduction techniques. So we just need to have the implementation of the formula. Here Masson's gain formula. So generally we have two kinds of question that can be framed from signal flow graph. So it is the transfer function is obtained from system equations. The equations must be algebraic sum, that is basically in S domain. it is applicable only to linear systems. So that is the limitation here, applicable only to the linear systems. So now we are gradually switching on to a typical signal flow graph. So we will see a block diagram and we will try to convert it into a signal flow graph, but before that we have to study that a signal flow graph will have what all components. So the first component here is node, the second component here is branch. So node, a system variable which is equal to sum of all incoming signals at the node. So here we have to understand that node will be typical point that is between two gain terms. Node can be defined, any takeoff point can be defined using a node, any summation can be defined as a node. So simply we can say that, let's say we have two gain terms G1, G2 in block diagram reduction. So correspondingly in SFG, the corresponding SFG will have this node here. So this is first gain term, this is second gain term. Here we see that the blue curve is gradually we are shifting to signal flow graph. This one is signal flow graph, this one is block diagram. So here this node, we are talking about this node. So this is node here. Also this node can be used to represent a summation. The same node can be used to represent a takeoff point. So all these things we will study using an example. What is a branch now? A signal traverses along a branch from one node to another. So this particular thing is branch only. So we have seen that the signal is traveling through the branch having the gain term G1 and G2. Direction indicate by the branching arrows. Each branch has a finite gain, like here this branch will be having gain, that is the product of the two G1, G2. The signal passing through the branch gets multiplied by its gain. So here we see that this branch is having the particular gain which is multiplying, which is getting multiplied with each other, G1, G2. So I think we have studied the concept of node and branch. Now we see that terminologies which typically we use in a signal flow graph. So input node, and which is also called source node, output node which is also called sink node. So node with only outgoing branches, that will be input node. A node which is having only the incoming branches, that will be treated as output node. So path is nothing but branch only. It is a traversal of connected branches in a direction of branch arrows. So we do not have to violate the flow of or the direction pointed by arrow. Only and only condition to derive a path is you have to traverse in the direction of arrows. No node is traversed more than once. So to calculate a path, we have to see that we reach from input to output and we traverse any node only once. Like this is not a path. Here this one is not a path, this one is a path. Why? Because this node has been traversed twice. So we see that no node is traversed more than once. So not a single point, not a single path, not a single branch should be traversed more than once. So here we see forward path, a path from input node to output node. Feedback path is a path originated and a path that originates and terminates at the same node. So we see that forward path and feedback path we will see. If a path originates and terminates at the same node. Self loop, a loop that consists of only one node. We will see all this in next example, where we will convert a block diagram into a signal flow graph. The product of branch gains encountered or traversed in a path is called path gain. So we have seen some of things in the previous slides. So here we see this is a path gain of this path, this particular path is having this path gain. You have to just multiply all those gain terms which you have traversed in identifying that path. Next is self loop and path gain, feed forward path, feedback path, all that we will study with the example. So this particular example we have to see, it is a block diagram. So we have practiced quite a few numericals in my previous lectures. So this is block diagram. We see that this looks so complex, and block diagram reduction would take like some sufficient time. So now we will see that how we will convert this particular block diagram into a signal flow graph. So first we will see that there have certain nodes y1, y2 till y9. So we will represent these nodes, and then we have to see that this node that is a takeoff point, this node that is a takeoff point, this node that is a takeoff point, this takeoff point and summations will always be represented using nodes only, but we have to identify which one is a node for summation, which one is a node for takeoff point. So here we see that let us consider y1 as node. So y1 is having two inputs. Here we are entering to y2. So y1 is having two inputs here, first and second. So of course y1 is a node corresponding to a summation point. y2 is having two inputs, this one and this one. So it is again a node corresponding to a summation point. Let us consider about y4. So y4 here is here we see we have only one input. So it's very clear that y4 is a node corresponding to a takeoff point. Okay. Again y3 is a simple node. It's neither a takeoff point nor a summation. Again this y6 again will have a takeoff point because only one input, remaining two are the outputs. So we have to identify which node corresponds to a summation point, which nodes correspond to a takeoff point. So here we will try to make or construct the corresponding signal flow graph. So we will start from here, RS, and we will try to make y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6, y7, y8, y9, and here is the output. So I am writing y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6, y7, y8, y9. So this is how we will start. So let's mention all the gain terms. I will use a different color ink to mention the gain terms. So here we see that from y1 to y2 we have just gain 1. Here we will write this, the gain term, just on the top of the arrow. So y3 to y4, y3 to y4 we have g2, then y4 to y5 we have 1, then 5 to 6 we have 1, 6 to 7 we have g3, 7 to 8 we have 1, 8 to 9 we have g5. Here now we are good to make the remaining branches. We see here, now we are going to make this loop. Now we are going to construct this feedback thing. Again I will use the red ink. So we have to start from y4 and we have to enter into y2, and the gain for this particular path, here the gain to this particular path is h1. So we have to signify this minus sign also, since we are not privileged with summation here. So what we have to do, this minus has to be incorporated somewhere. That will come along with h1, minus h1. Okay, so first I will make all the loops. Again we have a loop here from y6 to y7. From y6 to y7 we have g4, I'll write it later. Then from y9 to y5 I have another. So I have just made this one. Now only this one is left. We have to start from y8, enter into y1. Now I am going to write the corresponding path gain. So path gain for this one is plus g4. The path gain for this particular branch is minus h3. The path gain for this particular branch is minus h2. So this is a simple conversion of a signal flow graph, a block diagram to a signal flow graph. So once again I'll tell you, first of all we'll make all the nodes. After making all the nodes, we will write the corresponding path gain on just above the arrow. So wherever we are making the arrow, on the top of it we'll write the corresponding gain. If the gain is say g1, g2, g3, we'll write that one. If there is no gain, so that is simply 1. Then we'll start making the branches which are other than the mainstream branch. Means there are this feedback, this feedback, this feedback, and then this one is parallel path. So we will make all the remaining loops, and we have to see, I here understand that which loop is a feedback path and which loop is a parallel path. I am very much clear that this is a parallel path. This is a parallel path. Why? Because those arrows G4 and G3 are in same direction. Similarly, I am very much clear that this is a combination of feedback, because this direction and this direction is opposite. So this is parallel combination. We call it parallel combination. So this is how we convert a signal flow graph into a block diagram into a signal flow graph. So here also we have the same representation like I did in the previous slide. We can see that this same diagram has been pictorially represented here. We can just make a clearer picture, this one and this one. Okay, so after this we have to understand that now the next step is to calculate the transfer function. In my previous slide I have told you there is a formula which will directly give us what is called a transfer function. So that formula is called Mason's gain formula. The purpose of Mason's gain formula is to find the overall gain of the signal flow graph, which is the transfer function of the system. So the overall gain is nothing but the transfer function, and here we have this formula where this k value is number of paths. Okay, so pk will be the path gain for the kth path. K value will start from n, k value will start from 1 and go till n. So this n is number of path, number of forward paths. This del is determinant from the graph. This del value is 1 minus sum of individual loop gains plus sum of product of two non-touching loops minus sum of gain products of combination of three non-touching loops, and so on. We will see that and so on signifies that another bracket would be having sum of product of 4 non-touching loops, and similarly we will have next bracket sum of product of 5 non-touching loops. So why we say so on? Generally we do not extend up to this, because the formula itself, the problem itself will not be having these many loops. So we do not end up coming till here, this point. So that is the extreme case. I don't think that that will be any case in the course curriculum which we are following. So we will be understanding the calculation of del and del k more when we will be applying it to some numerical. One more thing I want to add here and pay some attention, that this first bracket will be using a minus sign, then we have an alternative. First will be minus, then next will be plus, here we see, then next will be minus, here we see, and then the next one would be plus. So here I have written plus, and then the next one would be minus. So it goes like this, alternate, plus minus, sorry, it will start from minus, minus to plus, plus to minus, then again minus to plus, then again plus to minus. So this particular formula will have this pattern. And then the del k, k will be exclusively for the kth path. So del k, the value of k will be the same del value, but we have to incorporate, or we have not to consider all those loops which are touching the kth forward path. So the value of k for the part of the graph that are not touching the kth path. So the del k value will be derived from del only, but we have to exclude all those loops, all those products those are touching the forward path k or kth forward path. So nothing to get worried of this complex representation or complex literature. This will be easier and understandable when we will switch on and directly enter into problem solving. So the next thing is problem solving. So in this particular example, we see that we have started from nodes x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7 and x8. So of course here we have some input R, here we have some output C. Okay, so it is like I do not need to define that. Of course x2 is a summation point. Why? Because I can see that it has two entering branches, one with a gain A, another with gain H. Similarly x3 is also a summation point. It has two entering branches, two input branches, that one is with gain B, another is with gain D. Similarly x4 is a takeoff point. Why? Because it has only one input branch, while the remaining E and D are all the inputs that are leaving. So only one input is entering, that is C. So here we see, we will find out how many paths are there. We will find out how many paths are there. So this k value is ranging from 1 to n. So what is this n value? Okay, so we have to find out number of paths. So in this we see that, let me take a different color marker. This one is a path which is taking me from input to output. So of course the value of this path P1 will be the product of all the gains that were traversed during the flow of that path. So it will be A, B, C, E, G, I, J. Do we have a different path here? Let's see. Let's see. Imagine a case that we start from here, we take it like this, and then we go like this. So here, of course, the direction is being followed. But how many times have we traversed this node x5? The answer to this question is 2. So we have traversed twice, and previously we have learned that this traversing twice is not allowed while considering a path. So this particular path, which is represented with this red line, is not a valid path, so we will not consider this one. So that one we will not consider. So we have only one path. Another, we can see that is there another path, like we start from here, we can go like this? No, because here the direction is like this, here the direction is like this, so we cannot go like that. So we don't have any other path here. So that's all in calculating number of paths. Next thing which we need to calculate will be how many loops do we have here. Loops means we have to start from a node, terminate at the same node, and no node should be traversed more than once. None of the portion of the path should be traversed more than once. So here we see that this one here is a loop. Why? Because we are very much able to follow the direction of arrows and start from a same point, terminate to a same point. This is a self loop. So let's call it L1, let's call it L2. So we have the second loop, we have a third loop as well, this one. So we are starting from the same point, we are terminating at the same point, following the direction. So this is L3. So we will calculate L1 as CD, just we will multiply the terms which are gain which are traversed during that calculation of loop. L2 is just F, L3 is B, C, E, G, H. So we have 3 loops here. Let's calculate the value of del. Del is 1 minus. We have to simply add all the loops. So we will write L1 plus L2 plus L3. Then second is we have to multiply, like we have to multiply all those loops who are not touching, 2 loops which are not touching, and then we have to take the sum. So sum of product of 2 non-touching loops. So here we can see we have L1 and L2 are not touching, like L1 is like this, L2 is this one, and L3 is this one. So we can see that L1 and L2 are not touching each other, so we can have L1, L2. Then L3 and L2, L3 and L2, they are touching at this point. L1 and L3, they are touching at this point. So we are not having any second term here, we are not having any second term. Then the next bracket is sum of product of 3 non-touching loops. So we need to have 3 loops which are not touching each other, and then we have to multiply, and then all those triplets will be added. So I don't think we have any 3 loops which are not touching. So again this is 0. So the del value is 0. Now I need to calculate what is del. Sorry, del 1. So del 1 is 1 minus all the loops, sum of all the loops which are not touching forward path 1. So we don't have any loop which is not touching forward path 1. Forward path 1 is this one. Forward path 1 is this one. So we don't have anything. All the loops, product of sum of products of all the two loops which are not touching forward path 1, again we have 0. So this is very simple. So here we see that we are very good with the calculation of formula, implementation of formula. Formula is summation pk del k upon del. So here we have p1 del 1 upon del. So this p1 is this, del 1 is this, del 1 is 1, and then del is this. So we have to simply substitute these values and get the required answer. So we will do more questions on signal flow graph, and we will try to implement and find out the transfer function. So that's all for my today's lecture. We will be practicing numericals on signal flow graph in my next class. Thank you.